Good man from what I see. I wish I had a good man like Papoose. Remy Ma now want Papoose back, and he done moved in with his girlfriend. Now she gotta play the hand that she picked. That man waited for her like she was.
Despite the fact that it was a normal day, New York streets were busy as usual, but a storm was building in the shadows and was about to explode up. Remy Ma would be shaken by the maelstrom that began here. What makes her core famous is her aggressive presence in the rap business. Remy Ma was once the picture of strength, self-reliance, and resilience, but on that particular day, none of those attributes would be enough to shield her from the consequences of a hasty choice. Remy Ma had recently started a brand new relationship that was exciting, passionate, and full of potential. Vanessa was Remy's perfect match. She was confident, gorgeous, and energetic, but as is sometimes the case, the honeymoon period. That time didn't last. What started off as minor disagreements swiftly became furious arguments. It was hard for Rye, a woman who had fought for respect all of her life, to balance loving and dominating Vanessa, but she wasn't. Perhaps due to a little too much drink, the dispute that started it all started off as a small mistake, but for Remy, it quickly escalated her emotions since she was afraid to confront her when necessary. Stress and jealousy, old scars flooded back. And before any of them could realize it, things got worse. During the intense argument, Vanessa slammed Remy Ma against the wall, and her hands, which were previously used to grip mics and write powerful lyrics, ended up in her throat. At the moment, anger was clouding her judgment. Remy let years of suppressed rage overcome her and was furious. She wasn't calculating or thinking. Emotions take over.
So you're really not ready for this work. She said it's natural. She don't have to. Sorry about I like talking about fighting. Sometimes people be meeting, get hands put on them.
Even though Vanessa's eyes were filled with terror, Remy M's grip remained firm, and it wasn't until Vanessa gave a panic when reality hit her like a ton of bricks. Remy seemed to lose her temper and let out a howl of pain. What had she become? What had she done? Vanessa gasped for oxygen and slumped back, grasping her throat to steady herself as her voice wavered. She yelled, "You can't hurt me. You can't just do that." Remy, too much has already happened to have time for it. Remy paused, her mind racing as the room began to feel oppressed by the weight of her act, as if the walls were closing in on her guilt. Took place, Vanessa grabbed up her phone, still shaking, and dialed 911. It was not long before the sirens came. Their cries echoed through the streets, drowning out the apartment noise. Still in disbelief, Remy was taken into custody right away and put in handcuffs. She had always been proud of her strength, but now she felt totally powerless. The cold metal of the handcuffs felt like a prison she had built for herself, and the flashing lights were blurry before her eyes. As Remy was taken away, Vanessa wanted to shout, cry, or even go after him, but she knew what had occurred. In the weeks after the trial, the courtroom became the setting for their horrific tale, which captivated the public. The fact that Remy Ma, the lady who once ruled the rap scene, rose from the streets and took over the world could end up in such a tragic circumstance was shocking to many. She would always be terrified since the trust had been betrayed. The evidence was showing Vanessa's bruises, but Remy's lawyers tried to downplay the occurrence by saying it was a sad fight between lovers. Those who witnessed the sobs and, most tragically, Remy Ma's own admission. It was clear when the judge delivered the verdict that Remy Ma would pay a steep price for her actions, a sentence that seemed to last a lifetime and that fundamentally altered her world, taking her from being untouchable to being imprisoned, where her former wealth and status would no longer matter. The information caused the media to go crazy, with some people supporting her and others criticizing her on social media. Ultimately, though, it made no difference because the harm had already been done and repercussions were unavoidable. As the days stretched into weeks and then months, Remy began to transform. No amount of money, fame, or admirers could make up for the harm she had caused to someone she loved. Therefore, she could no longer ignore the intensity of her feelings. She was forced to confront the repercussions of her conduct in the silence of her prison cell. She had lost everything she had known, including the lights, the throne, and the red carpets. The silence was deafening. Her power, her toughness, and the reputation she had worked so hard to earn had no place here. Deeper faith in her friends, admirers, and most painfully, in her former lover, Vanessa Remy Ma's story served as a devastating reminder of the consequences of living a reckless life and the cost of unchecked emotions. Papoose, who was known for his composure and stoicism, got caught up in an emotional roller coaster that nobody could have predicted in the interim. He was struck with the news like a ton of bricks. More than just monetary gain, Remy Ma's $30 million spousal support verdict marked a sea change in their years-long journey together, during which they had faced numerous court fights, personal struggles, and the highs and lows of the music industry. But Poe, who had faith in Remy's power, potential, and future, had always stood by her side. The figure on the paper felt substantial, though not because of its magnitude, but rather because of what it stood for. $30 million was more than simply a court triumph. It was an opportunity for Remy Ma to start again and rebuild her life, career, and perhaps even her independence. In the silence of their house, Papoose sobbed because it was a moment of relief rather than rage or grief, even though it was her win. Pride was something he had always known. Papoose knew that this moment would never end as he brushed away the tears. Everything they had gone through to get there, not just the money. It showed their love, tenacity, and connection through their worst times. Remy had the fortitude to get over any challenge, and he was overcome with emotion as he watched her accomplish this amazing feat. There was a humility that was very evident in those tears. His love, Remy, and everything they had done together made him proud.
Happened, Remy. I think that is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I like you too. Very unfortunate, but we won't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so I don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move where they were moving. But I know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about the marriage. Shit's hard. I know one thing like that. You gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs. But you get somebody that ain't right, that shit's gonna tear your ass up. Even if you ain't never did that thing, you probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably don't never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again. I ain't doing no.
Put it this way: if I was in your shoes, they would say, "Kirk, you deserve that shit." They would talk shit about me, and you know what? I love the fact they love you. They love you, bro, because you did with a lot.
Kirk Frost was unable to ignore Papoose after Remy Ma accused him of adultery with boxing champion Clarissa Shields. Kirk pulled himself into the dispute, claiming Remy was unprofessional and defended Papo. Additionally, he praised Papo for remaining calm throughout the entire situation, even though Remy was rumored to have had affairs with other rappers. Here's a brief summary for anyone who missed the exciting details. Not having any of it, Kirk labeled Remy poisonous and said she was trying to agitate the situation more. It was the previous year. Immediately following the news that Remy Ma and Papoose had split up, there were reports that Remy was seeing Easy the Block Captain, an underground battle rapper who was in the same social circles as Papoose. Even though Remy was guilty of some of the same crimes she was accusing him of, he was busted a few months later for supposedly slandering Papoose. Papoose kept quiet, accepted the fact that Remy had gone on with someone else, and went on. But it seems that Remy couldn't stand to watch him with someone else, so a few days ago, she shocked everyone by telling them about her. When Papoose allegedly cheated on her with Clarissa Shields, the internet went bananas. But the worst part is yet to come. Kirk Frost wasn't going to keep quiet while Remy kept making charges because the situation was getting more complicated by the day. Papoose seems to be trapped in the center of the battle lines, and the drama isn't slowing down. She accused Papo of dozing off and posted a screenshot of a private exchange between him and Clarissa. While Remy was out having a wonderful time, Papoose was actually engaging in a romantic connection with another rapper, claiming that while they were in her house, Clarissa immediately hung up the phone when she heard Remy's voice. Remy is known for being a tough boss who doesn't think twice about stepping on people's toes. "You're not the only one," Remy said without holding back. She was picking a fight with someone tougher than her this time, though, and Claire Shield responded with a crushing line. "Why the hell are you if I'm not the only one? How can a man with a girlfriend upset a woman who has 2 boyfriends?" She slapped Remy with another comment, but she wasn't done yet. Tagging me on my own Clarissa Shields, then shared Instagram photos on Twitter. That a 45-year-old woman would go out like this and send bogus texts is unthinkable. "You can harass me since I'm not a bee. You're irritated and bitter, and you're fooling yourself. Simply stop talking." That was a serious slight. I'm not 45 yet, but you're 29, and I'll just say this. "You're not aging like wine, honey," was Remy's prompt reply. Then, being tactful, she advised Clarissa Shields to ask her partner to buy you flowers and presents. He didn't even answer his phone this week since he was with his side lady. Months of silence. At last, the priest shared his version of events online, breaking his silence. He claimed, "I've made several attempts to obtain a divorce, but Remy is a narcissist who would rather play the victim than handle situations responsibly. After I moved on, she made the decision to regularly cheat on me." Additionally, Remy shared a photo of himself cuddling up to Easy the Block Captain by the Christmas tree to demonstrate to the world how far he has come. He admitted that he had remained silent in order to protect his daughter, but he felt. When Remy continued to publicly disparage him by captioning it, "This is where Remy was last Christmas while I was at home with my daughter." But Papoose wasn't done. I felt compelled to speak up. "She is irrationally angry and fabricating lies now that I have moved on. I told her that we could get a divorce like grown-ups, but she won't believe me when I claim that I didn't get this chump out. She begged me to lie about the knockout in messages that I still have, but it doesn't matter. The last time I saw this piece, he was in the fetal position and didn't return a single punch. It was awful when Remy reprimanded Papoose for dating." His most recent girlfriend, Papoose, wasn't holding back when it appeared like things couldn't get much worse. Fans stated that Papoose didn't deserve any of the turmoil she was creating, and the internet went crazy condemning Remy of being poisonous. Kirk Frost not only defended Papo, but also charged Remy with playing the innocent victim when she was responsible for all of the things she was pointing fingers at.
About so many women in here, and the women always talking bad about the guy. And then it's none of my business, but I get talked about all the time. And I'm just saying, if he went in business, and his reward to me is bad, but I'm saying my business, but I feel like, God damn, bro, I feel bad for him. You put it this way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, "Kirk, you deserve that shit." They would talk shit about me, and you know what? I love the fact that they love you. They love you, bro, because you being with a lot of people do. Seriously, they love you that. That's true. You got a lot of respect for the street. I'm keeping it on. Women, y'all have showed y'all in a very bad way. Please. Okay, but this is really too. That's what I'm saying. But even though I say
But Kirk Frost wasn't the only one who voiced their opinions. Lil Scrappy also wanted to be heard. And since Scrappy doesn't mince words when he speaks, we'll see what he had to say about all this turmoil. Remy Ma's portrayal of Papoose as the toxic one is only getting less criticism because she's a woman. Things would be considerably messier if Papoose were doing Remy Ma's duties and the roles were reversed.
I think that is very unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Because I like it too. Very unfortunate, but you know, we won't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so I don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move the way they were moving. But I know about it. Like, it's crazy. I know about this marriage. It's hard. I know one thing, like that, you gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs. But if somebody that ain't right, that shit gonna tear your stuff. You know, what you ain't never did that thing, you probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably don't never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again one day.
It should be rather clear that a divorce should take place as quickly as feasible, considering how Papo and Remy Ma's relationship ended. But I have to say that Remy Ma is mostly to blame because, despite Papoose's genuinely handling of the situation, Remy couldn't abide seeing him with someone else. She revealed his relationship with Claressa Shields after letting her emotions run wild. We're all hoping that Remy M would sign the divorce papers so Papoose may move on with his life now that it's obvious that this relationship has failed. Only when both partners desire it will a marriage succeed. Kirk Frost pointed out Remy Ma's attempt to portray the innocent victim, yet she was the one generating all of this chaos. Fans are criticizing Remy Ma for expressing resentment. How do you all feel? Is there more to this tale that the media isn't reporting, or did Remy Ma treat Papoose fairly? She publicly humiliated Papoose, let him move on, and is now furious that he has a new girlfriend. Remy Ma is furious that Papoose is a global champion since they also brought up the fact that she cheated too publicly by tampering with the battle rapper. Despite having cheated herself, Remy Ma is criticizing Papoose for it. Don't you believe this is a double standard? Remy Ma seems to be among those who find it unbearable to watch their former partners prosper. In an attempt to feel better, a woman who is unable to let go will try to ruin the reputation of others. Kindly leave a comment below with your ideas, and don't forget to see the next video.